by now they'd fall. But you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won. For you have never failed me yet. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. Still in your hands, this is my confidence. You've never failed me yet. I know the night won't last. Your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. The promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me yet. Seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You've made a way where there was no way. I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You've made a way where there was no way. I believe I'll see you do it again. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. Still in your hands, this is my confidence. You've never failed. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. Still in your hands.
searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise, treasures that fade, are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. There's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can.
More than words can say, I need you more. yesterday, I need you more than words can say. I need you more than ever before. I need you more. I need you more than the air I breathe, more than the song I sing, more than the next heartbeat, more than anything. Lord, as time goes by, I'll be by your side, 'cause I never want to go back to my old life. I need you more than yesterday. I need you more than words can say. I need you more than ever before. I need you more. I need you more. 'Cause I just want more. I just want more of you, God, more of you, God. I just want more. I just want more of you, God, more of you, God. I just want more. I just want more of you, God, more of you, God. I just want more. I just want more of you, God, more of you. I pour out all I have, I lay down all I am, I'm making room for you. Lord, I'm ready to open up my heart to receive, not in part, but the fullness of who you are. Lord, I'm ready to pour out all I have and lay down all I am, making room for you. Lord, I'm ready to open up my heart to receive, not in part, but the fullness of who you are. Lord, I'm ready, and I just want more. I just want more of you, God, more of you, God. I just want more. I just want more of you, God, more of you.
This morning, we're going to go to Psalm 77. Psalm 77, and we're going to be going through most of the psalm, but I'd like to begin just by reading verses 1 and 2. Psalm 77, verses 1 and 2. Here's what the psalmist says. I cry aloud to God, and he will hear me. In the day of my trouble, I seek the Lord. In the night, my hand is stretched out without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. Those of you that were here last Sunday, you might remember that I began a series, a teaching series, and I don't know how long it will go, probably not that long. But I want to spend at least a few weeks talking about the biblical concept of lament. Lament. It's where we get the name of the book Lamentations, which we were in last week. And essentially what lament is, it's a way of expressing grief and sorrow. Not as common a word today as it was a few years ago, but we all know what it means. But in the Bible, it takes a slightly different meaning, because in the Bible, when you see the word lament used, it's more than just expressing your sadness, although that's part of it. And it's more than just walking through the stages of grief, although that can also be part of it. But in the Bible, lament, the word describes a prayer which you pray or you offer up to God during times of great struggle. And the ultimate focus of a prayer of lament is on trusting in God. And that's important. You see, a lot of people, if you just use the word lament, a lot of people think, well, that's the opposite of prayer, it's the opposite of praise, but it isn't. It's an effort to worship God even when we are disappointed, even when we're feeling broken. In other words, when you're in a dark place, whatever that means for you in your situation, whenever you're in a dark place and you're looking for hope, then this idea of lament describes how you ought to be praying. And so in the Bible, and Psalm 77 sums this up, and we're going to go through it here in a second, but in the Bible, whenever you read a passage of lament, it usually has at least 4 separate elements. It begins with the person speaking to God. So that's how we know it's a prayer. They're talking to God. And the second element is this. They tell God what's wrong. Here's my problem. Here's my situation. Here's what I cannot fix. Number 3, and this is kind of just basic prayer teaching, but they ask God to change the situation. So it's not just, here's what I'm unhappy about, God. It's, Lord, you're the only one who can make a difference. And then the 4th element, and this is kind of important, they finish the lament by expressing their trust in God's goodness or God's faithfulness. So that's why I read the first 2 verses from Psalm 77 just a moment ago, because this psalm, and there's a lot of them that are similar, but this one just, it provides us with a guide of what a biblical lament is. And we don't have to copy it exactly, but I want us to go through it because it'll kind of give us an idea of how to pray. So I want to begin again with verse 1, and here's what it said. Psalm 77, verse 1, I cry aloud to God, and he will hear me. So just that opening phrase there, I cry aloud to God, that gives you a sense of where this psalm is going. Obviously, we've already read it. The psalmist is in pain, and he's expressing his pain and his suffering to God, and he's using words, obviously. But what you want to remember is this. He's not just groaning, like Gary tends to do. He's not just complaining like a lot of us tend to do. He's crying out in prayer. I cry aloud to who? To God. And then as you go into verse 2, this idea is emphasized. He says, in the day of my trouble, what? I seek the Lord. And in the night, my hand is stretched out without wearying. So again, it's clear that he's praying, because that's the first thing he says in verse 2. In the day of my trouble, what do? I seek the Lord. That's prayer. But then The second part of that phrase there, my hand is stretched out without wearying. Well, what's that? It's actually a Hebrew expression, and you'll see it if I act it out for you. It's a Hebrew expression that describes reaching out to God. My hand is stretched out. That's a picture of prayer. And that's not just a Jewish Hebrew thing. That's something that a lot of us understand as well when you actually physically reach out to God by using your body to express what's in your spirit. And so we've got all this emphasis. I cry aloud to God. I seek the Lord. My hand is stretched out without wearying. So again, there's this thing coming through that he's not just complaining about how miserable he feels, although certainly we understand why he would, but he's using that pain to reach out to God. And don't miss the importance of this. Don't take it for granted. The emphasis of a biblical lament is not on complaining. The emphasis of a lament is on prayer, and that's why all of us periodically need to hear a passage like this, right? Me too. Because my temptation is to just, oh, poor me. Tell me I'm the only one, right? We all fall into that trap. And something else I want to point out to you, whenever you're in a crisis, and we've all been there, and some of you are there right now, but whenever you're in a crisis, the last thing the enemy wants is for you to turn to the Lord in prayer, right? And so he will convince you, if you feel you have to say something, if you have to get it off your chest, so to speak, he will convince you to talk to somebody else, but not to God, right? He will do anything to stop you from praying. But biblical lament is turning to God. It's bringing your hurts, your doubts, and your questions to him. And one of the things that you see in just about all the Psalms, especially, that are Psalms of lament, and by the way, just so you know, over 1/3 of the Psalms are Psalms of lament. One of the things that it involves is being honest with God about what you're feeling. Listen, he already knows. You haven't hidden anything from him. He knows you inside and out. And we see this here in again, going back to the end of verse 2. Listen to what the psalmist says, talking about being honest. My soul refuses to be comforted. He's praying these words. When I remember God, I moan. When I meditate, in other words, when I reflect or think about it, my spirit faints. You, God, you hold my eyelids open. In other words, I'm so overcome with weariness, it's as if God has to keep me conscious and focused. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. So there's this phrase after phrase after phrase, all saying the same thing. Lord, I'm seeking you, I'm praying, but it's not working. Right? It's not bringing him the immediate comfort he wants. It's not bringing the resolution to his situation that he's looking for. And that's something you have to understand when it comes to seeking the Lord, when it comes to prayer. Lament doesn't always bring you an immediate answer. I wish it did, right? You wish it did, but our experience says it doesn't always. And so instead what it is, it's us praying in the belief that one day God will answer our prayer, and he will restore us to that place of peace. We're not seeing it now, but we're seeking him anyway. And so the psalmist is caught in the trap that a lot of us understand. He's praying, he's crying out to God, and he's not seeing an answer. And that leads him to, again, we're talking about being honest here in your prayers, that leads him to ask some painful questions, some awkward questions. Let's go to verse 7. Will the Lord spurn forever and never again be favorable? Has his steadfast love forever ceased? Are his promises at an end for all time? Verse 9, has God forgotten to be gracious? Has he in anger shut up his compassion? I suspect he doesn't really believe any of those statements are true. Otherwise, he wouldn't be praying. If you genuinely believe God never answers prayer, why would you pray? But he's praying, so he doesn't believe it fully. But nonetheless, he's doing something important that I've been talking about. He's being honest with God about what he's feeling. He knows, I think, that God's faithful love and mercy haven't come to an end. But listen, in that moment, it feels like it. You get that. You know God is good, but there are moments when it doesn't feel like he's being good to you. You know God is gracious and merciful, but we've all had moments, and maybe some of you are there right now. We've all had moments where it doesn't feel like he's gracious and merciful. So let me say this. Based on what we've read, and there's so many other passages that we could go to that say the same thing. God is not threatened when we express ourselves honestly to him. He's not insecure. When you tell God about the pain you're feeling, you're just saying what's in your heart. And it doesn't mean that you don't trust him. It just means you're expressing that which feels very real to you in that moment. But here's the thing. Even though your pain and your struggle is real, you don't want to get stuck in that pain forever. You don't want to make it the only thing you think about. And I've been trapped in that in the past, and some of you have as well. And you know people that are trapped there right now. They're stuck on a problem, focused on it, and it's all they can see. That's why the psalmist moves forward. He's honest, he's open, he's telling God, this is where I'm struggling with. He's asking these hard questions. Lord, do you really care? But then he moves forward and he encourages himself. How? By thinking about God's faithfulness in the past. Let's go to verse 11. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your wonders of old, things you did. Verse 12. I will ponder all your work and meditate on all your mighty deeds. Your way, O God, is holy. What God is great like our God? And depending on what you're going through, that may be a very, very important part of what you need to be praying. Because if you're like me, there have been different moments in my life when I needed to be reminded that God has never failed me. Not that it's always been easy. Not that there haven't been real challenges, but God has always been faithful. And that's what the psalmist here is focusing on, verses 14 and 15. You are the God who works wonders. You have made known your might among the peoples. You with your arm redeemed your people, the children of Jacob and Joseph. So now we're beginning to see the difference between biblical lament, which is a healthy way of coming to God in prayer, and someone who's just complaining. When you're just complaining, it means you're stuck in verses 7 through 9. Everything in life is terrible, and you're not sure it's ever going to get better. But lament pushes you beyond that. It pushes you forward to verses 11 through 15, where you remember God's past faithfulness as a source of hope for the future. Biblical lament is us between those two extremes, right? We admit that sometimes life is hard. We know that it's okay to be honest about our struggles, but we also want to remember that God is good and he has something better for us, and lament is us living in that in-between place. I'm not going to lie about what I've been through. I'm not going to deny the reality of my struggle, but I don't want to get stuck there. I want to remember that God is good so he can move me forward into what he has. So there's a story in Israel's history about moving forward that I just want to kind of touch on real quickly because it's going to come into Psalm 77. And it's a story we all pretty much know. You remember when Israel had been in Egypt, right? 400 years they had been slaves. And then God raises up Moses, raises up Aaron, and he tells them, you're going to lead the people out of slavery. And so there's a series of miracles. We won't go through it for the sake of time, but a series of miracles that God uses to bring the people out of Egypt, and they're going across the desert, and then they come up to the Red Sea, right? And they're not Olympic swimmers. There's way too many of them. There's older people, little kids. They're not going to get across that Red Sea. And they're looking at it, And it's around that same time frame that Pharaoh, who had been forced by God to let the people go, changes his mind. You remember? Why did I give up all that free labor? Those Israelites were slaves here for us. They did all the work that we wanted them to do. And he decides, I want them back. And he sends out the army, and they're not just a ragtag group of weekend warriors. These are highly trained soldiers. They've got chariots, they've got horses, they've got all of the military technology that Israel had never had, and at that point they certainly weren't ready to face that. And the army's coming, and in their own strength, Red Sea on this side, Pharaoh's army on this side, in their own strength, there is nothing that Israel can do to save themselves. Right? They've got, if they want to avoid being defeated and sent back to slavery, they've got one choice. They have to believe what Moses had been telling them all along, that God was going to save them, and then they had to take a step of faith, literally, not figuratively, literally take a step of faith by walking across the Red Sea. Let me read you just two verses. It's a long story, but just two verses which sum up this part of their story. Exodus 14, verses 21 and 22. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night and made the sea dry land. And the waters were divided, and the people of Israel went into the midst of the sea on dry ground, the waters being a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. I don't care how you slice it, how you try to explain it, even dry land would seem frightening when you've got a wall of water and nothing holding it back except something that you can't see. Okay, if I do this, is God going to keep that water there? Because I don't want to drown. They are walking by faith. And they're believing that God is going to be with them and he brings them through. And so all kinds of years later, the writer of Psalm 77 would remember that story from Israel's history, and he would bring it into this psalm because it encouraged him in his own struggle. Back to Psalm 77. Look at verse 19. Your way was through the sea, your path through the great waters, yet your footprints were unseen. Talking about Israel following an invisible God. They could see what God was doing, but they could not see God. And yet God was leading them. Verse 20, you led your people like a flock. In other words, sheep and a shepherd, right? You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. It's not just the psalmist who felt this way. Some of you are here this morning, and you can identify with the story. On the one side, you've got the Red Sea, whatever that is. You can't cross it on your own. On the other side, you've got the Egyptian army, whatever that is for you. And it's too big and too powerful for you. And those are the only two options that you could see. You see, it's one thing for us to read a story like this in the Bible, where it's happening to someone else thousands of years ago, and we already know how it ends because we've read it before. But when you're the one in that situation, let's be honest, it's a lot harder to trust God. You've been crying out to him for help, and you have no idea which way it's going to go, right? You can have all the faith in the world, but you don't know what God may or may not do. And it's easy to feel like the writer of Psalm 77. It's easy to feel like Israel in the story of crossing the Red Sea, to feel overwhelmed because you can't see any way to move forward. And if you're in that situation, again, it's okay to be honest with God about what you're feeling. One more time, Psalm 77, the end of verse 2. My soul refuses to be comforted. We all understand that. But when you're praying those prayers and when you're being honest with God and saying, Lord, I'm not happy. Also take time to remember God's past faithfulness. And whether you feel like it or not, take time to praise him for his future provision. One more time, Psalm 77, verses 11 through 13. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your wonders of old, past faithfulness. I will ponder all your work and meditate on your mighty deeds. That's what I'm doing right now. And then, praising God for the future. Your way, O God, is holy. What God is great, like our God? For some of you, given where you're at, that's probably a question you ought to ask yourself more than once. What God is great like our God? And here's a little part of the answer. Nothing in this world is like our God. No one in this world is like our God. He is the answer that you're looking for. And he is the only one who can make a way where there seems to be no way. So I'm going to end with this, and then Rick's going to come and conclude our service for us. But even though you're even though you're struggling and discouraged, I want to encourage you to keep praying, to keep trusting him, even if it involves being honest with lament and saying exactly what it's doing to you, this struggle. Keep praying and keep trusting, because he will, and I'm not wrong in this, he will always be faithful.